Are wired mice finally dying, and are we moving into a future where wireless mice is what everybody has? Over the past few years, there's been a significant increase in wireless mice being released, and particularly over this last year, it's skyrocketed, and we've got lots of great wireless mice from the top brands. I'm Techify, and in this video, I'm going to be discussing whether wireless mice are the future or whether you should still stick to your trusty wired mouse. So guys, let's get into this. If you enjoy this video, then hit that subscribe button and make sure you join the Techify Discord. I want this video to be a bit of a discussion, so please comment down below your thoughts and let me know in the Techify Discord. I'd love to continue this chat. Pretty much, I'm just going to talk about my thoughts about wireless mice, what's coming out in the future, and whether wired mice are coming to an end. Even in the couple years I've been reviewing mice, I've definitely seen an increase in wireless mice. In my first few videos, a top mouse would be something like the XM1R, and Xtrfy was releasing things like the M42, and these were really great mice. And then we got things like the Logitech G Pro Superlight, and these wireless mice that could also have these great benefits of a low weight started to really take over and become popular. Then in the last year or so, we've had so many mice. We've had lightweight mice from Razer, all these other brands. Xtrfy have been releasing them. Pulsar have released some great mice. SteelSeries, Glorious, they've all had a go. And in the future, we're going to see some even more great wireless mice. The XM1 wireless is supposedly coming. However, I think a lot of people are giving up on that now. The Xtrfy M8 does look really cool. I pre-ordered one of them. And it looks like we're actually finally going to be getting a Razer Viper Mini wireless. There's also starting to be more options that aren't just really high in price, like the Logitech G Pro wireless and things like the Final Mouse. Things like the HyperX Pulsefire Haste wireless, which I recently reviewed, I paid just $50 for, and I believe you can get it on Amazon US for about $65. And then there's even things like the Orochi V2, which is still a good solid wireless mouse at a lower price point. And I think it's pretty obvious to see why this transition to wireless mice is happening. It looks better on your desk without having the cable, and gaming without a cable makes the mouse feel so much lighter, more consistent, and in general is a really nice experience. If you haven't tried it and you get the chance, I definitely recommend you do. Personally, I'd happily sacrifice a bit of weight and maybe some other features in order to have a wireless mouse instead of a wired mouse at the same price point. And I do think that's going to make it quite difficult for wired mouse in the mid-range as we get some of these great wireless mice becoming available at mid-range prices. What I want to talk about though is the common stereotype that wireless mice are less stable, have connection issues, going to have latency and things like that. And ultimately that is potentially true. However, technology has come so far, especially in recent years, that this is becoming much less and less of a problem, if it even is one at all. And I'd argue that nowadays, especially with your top brands and their great wireless technology, it isn't. If you want a simple-minded way to look at it, then nothing can travel faster than the speed of light, and wireless mice connect over radio waves, which travel at the speed of light, therefore that's quicker than it can go in a wire. However, realistically, there is so much more to it than that, and a lot goes into the receiver and transmitter. However, they're coming so far as well that it's ultimately becoming not a problem. They're as quick or quicker than wired mice. I'd love to do a study like this myself if I had the equipment, but on rtings.com they have a really interesting click latency and sensor latency testing on lots of different mice, and they compare for wired and wireless modes. Obviously, as you'd expect, Bluetooth has more latency, so I'm not going to talk about that. 2.4 GHz with a USB receiver is what I'm going to be talking about, as that's what a lot of the top mice are using to get great performance. Looking at the results for some different mice was actually really interesting to me, and it wasn't actually what I expected. Something I found really interesting is the click latency on, for example, the DeathAdder V3 Pro. So on wired it had a click latency of 1.8 milliseconds, and it was 2.2 milliseconds on wireless. So it is a really small difference, and I doubt you'd notice that, but it is a difference nevertheless. That being said though, the Razer Viper Mini has a click latency of 2.3 milliseconds, and that's a wired mouse, which means there are wired mice which people don't have a problem with, including myself, that have a longer click latency than some wireless mice. So from a latency perspective, if you thought that was still a problem, I'd say it isn't at all, and from personal experience of using them, I definitely can't notice any. I think over the next year or two we're going to start seeing some great wireless mice in the $30 to $50 range, and it's really only going to be those budget mice that are still wired. This is something I'm happy about. I think wireless mice are a great experience and it's where we should be heading. My only concern would be is I think it makes it a little bit more challenging for new companies to come into the mix, since at current they're a little bit more complicated to manufacture and to get right. This is a shame because we've had great companies like Xtrafy, Endgame Gear and Pulsar showing that you can come as a small company and make some great products. That being said, these companies have shown that they can make wireless mice, so I don't think it's going to be too much of a barrier. Ultimately, I'd like to know what you guys think in the comments or in my Discord. This video was just a bit of a chat and a discussion. For your next video, go check out my 1 year review of what is supposedly the best wireless mouse, the Final Mouse Starlight 12. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys next time.